Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Running the Bases. We're not in person today, but this is still Running the Bases. It is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. So we're not in school, but we still have to do our weekly show because today is a very special show. I am joined today by Ryan Blank and Nick Nath, as this is the official beginning of our off-season content. It is going to be an action-packed off-season, and we are beginning our usual annual couple shows in a row where we are all collaborating to do predictions, give out awards, talk about the season, predict next season. It's going to be awesome. And today we start with the 2021 Running the Bases Award Show, our annual show where we give out our MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, and Manager of the Year. Boy, I am stoked. I have a great format that I want to follow. It's going to be tense. It is going to bring so much excitement. People are going to be hanging on every word. And I can't wait for it. We're going to be going about it in pretty much the same way they do in Major League Baseball. We're going to be holding out a little bit until we announce the winner. We're going to go positionally or rank wise, just so that we can give out the awards. And we're going to get started in just a minute, but how are you guys doing today? I wouldn't say bright and early, but we all just recently woke up and I feel like we're back in the olden days of our early 9 a.m. show. So how's everyone doing today?
I was up until 4.
Wow.
And then didn't go to bed till 7. So just to say the least, Ryan's a little exhausted today. And then yesterday I only got an hour of sleep.
It's a good thing that we pushed the show back to 10.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you, Nick.
Yeah,
the time flexibility. No, but yeah, I'm chilling. This award show has been something that we've been wanting to do for a while now, so I'm just excited to do it.
Also, the MLB just proves that they're just a joke with awards, an absolute joke. I'll get into this later, but I am so furious with how stupid the MLB is. Each and every year, they get dumber and dumber and dumber. I swear, Rob Manfred is having an effect on everyone.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of shocked that Jacob deGrom didn't get a top 3 with how random these things have been this year. Because it wouldn't have shocked me if they Jacob deGrom top 3 in the Cy Young. It's like, what? But this is we always look forward to the show every year. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to start off. We're going to go backwards in the terms of excitement for the awards. We start off with the Manager of the Year. We're going to do AL and NL, AL then NL in all of the categories. And we are going to start by giving out our third place spot. And how the spots are going to go and how we determine our winners is all 3 of us are going to give our top 3. Those 3 people are going to earn points. If someone gets first place, they get 5 points. Second place, they get 3 points, and third place, they get 1 point. So in the end, who gets the most points wins. And then I'm going to be tallying up the points as we go to determine who the actual winners of the awards are. So I'm stoked. I'm really excited for it because I know that I was looking forward to it. Next week, we've got an even cooler show, which is our free agent predictions show. But we'll get more into that later. But let's get rolling, shall we? We have the American League Manager of the Year award. And I just want to go – I want to do Ryan, Nick, and then me because it just looks pretty on – actually, you know what? No, we'll do Nick, Ryan, and then me because that looks even prettier on the screen. And that looks better on the spreadsheet. So, Nick, we start off with you. Who is your third place spot for Manager of the Year?
Charlie Montoya out of Toronto.
All right, Charlie Montoya getting the points right there. How about that? That's a good one. So that gets – hold on, I have to start writing in their names here. So bear with me. I was kind of expecting you guys to expand on it a little bit.
I got you. Yeah. I got you. Well, primarily the reason why he's not higher is obviously trying to miss the playoffs. But if Toronto makes the playoffs, he's easily top 2. And however far they advance, he might go farther than that. I mean, Toronto had no expectations going into the year, and they were able to in the offseason put together a bunch of veteran guys on minimum contracts that just came out swinging this year. Marcus Semien is probably one of the best offseason signings of the year. He's helped make Vlad into a premier player in this league now. The pitching staff's gotten a lot better since he's been there, and Toronto is now a place to contend. They got their big free agent in Springer, and that's kind of what got the dice rolling. I think that's kind of what got this team rejuvenated, remotivated. Bobichette's there, Lourdes Gurriel. They have all these kind of guys that are just kind of there to win. Montoya's been a huge reason why. And so, yeah, I think he'd be higher on this list for me, honestly, if Toronto made the playoffs. But I think that would be an extra thing.
Absolutely beautiful, Nick. That was exactly what I was looking for. Alrighty, Ryan, who do we have in third place?
I couldn't agree more with Nick. It's Charlie Montoya. I think that when you look at this Blue Jays team, they were in, I believe, the hardest division in baseball because of how deep the division was. And I think that when you look at it, his ability to not only have I don't want to say this, but it's a valid point. He has 2 players in MVP finalists, which he shouldn't at all, but he does. So you got to give him credit for that. What he's been able to do to help the development of Vlad, Bichette, Gurriel, everyone. He made Oscar Hernandez an all-star. That's how good of a manager Charlie Montoya is. And I think that if this team would have made the playoffs, he would have won the award. And I can say the same thing about another manager who I have at number 1.
Alrighty, so my number 3, I wanted to do Charlie Montoya, but I ended up going with Alex Cora here. The main reason I did that is because the Red Sox had a lot lower expectations than the Blue Jays did entering the year. Everyone expected the Blue Jays to make the playoffs. Everyone was predicting the Red Sox to be really low in the division, and they kind of flip-flopped. The Red Sox were the team that surprised everyone. They made it to the playoffs where the Blue Jays just fell short. And the Red Sox even they got the top spot in the wild card. And while we're not including postseason here, he still led the team to the ALCS, while, again, that doesn't factor into my decision here. Looking just on the regular season alone, to me, I love the way that Alex Cora did it, and he gets that third-place spot for me. So we have Charlie Montoya right now has 2 points. Alex Cora has 1. We get into second place now, Nick. Who do you have in second?
I have Jesse Baker out of Houston, obviously. And for me, primarily, it's kind of along the same reasons as Toronto. I feel like going into the year, a lot of people doubted Houston. I kind of been on that wave ever since the offseason started. I thought they were going to win the division. They did. And Baker made it a priority to get this to be the best lineup in all of baseball. And arguably it really was, in my opinion, outside of the Dodgers being healthy, like a few games. But if you really look at that lineup top to bottom, it's scary. They had the batting champion in Gurriel at 7, hitting 7 for them. To me, that just speaks volume to what Baker's done. Baker did what he could with a makeshift rotation in the playoffs. I feel bad for him that he lost his ace in McCullers and he lost a lot of bullpen guys. So maybe the series would have ended up differently. But the job that Baker has done this year for Houston was instrumental. I think we will see Correa leave this offseason, but I still think since he's the manager and since they still have some of that core left, that they'll be competing next year just because of how good of a manager Baker is.
I like it. Ryan, who do you have in second place?
And Alex Cora. It was between Dusty Baker and Alex Cora here. And I think that when you look at it, what Alex Cora was able to do coming back off of a suspension and taking that team not only to the playoffs but to the ALCS. I know that doesn't matter, but that just shows how great of a manager he is. They took a team that had the worst winning percentage in franchise history and turned them into a playoff team. So I believe that can't go unnoticed.
All right. I like it. That puts Alex Cora in first place at the moment with 4 points. So Alex Cora is our current leader. At number 2 for me, I have Scott Cervez from the Mariners. I needed to give Scott Cervez some serious props from taking this team from an absolute zero to an absolute hero. It was really impressive what he did this year, from a team that should not have even been close to 500 to have a shot at making the playoffs in the end of the season. It was an absolute, it was a fun team to watch. They were America's team down the stretch, and we all enjoyed watching them. And Scott Cervez is a big part of that. So he is my second place. Now we go to number 1. Now, while this doesn't completely determine who wins the award, this plays a big factor. So, Nick, we start off with you. Who is your winner for the Manager of the Year in the American League?
It's pretty simple to me. Kevin Cash is just always finding a way to put this Rays team in the playoffs with subpar guys. I wouldn't say these players on this team are subpar, but no one in the lineup sitting over 280. They have no all-stars. They have this like the same payroll as Garrett Cole combined, I'm pretty sure. It doesn't matter though. Kevin Cash is always going to win this division just because of how good of a manager he is, because of how good he follows the analytics, because of how good he knows his team and his ball club. They lost Morton, Snell, Glass now to injury. Doesn't matter. It really does not matter. The team's still winning that division with the division that has the 3 other playoff teams. That team's still finding ways to go to the ALDS, ALCS every year. And so, in my opinion, with Wander Franco getting better, with that team just getting better, with Glass now getting back next year, with them signing some potential free agents, I mean, the Rays will be back in the mix next year just because of Kevin Cash as their manager, and he wholeheartedly deserves Manager of the Year. No one even thought that the Rays would go to how far they did this year. No one even thought they were going to win the division this year.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Ryan, I think you have something to say about that. So who is your number one?
Scott Cervez. He has taken this Mariners team from 0 to about 90. Next year, he'll take them from 0 to 100 when they make the playoffs. What he has done is taken arguably one of the youngest teams in the MLB and turned them into a playoff caliber team. Nobody thought anything of the Mariners. Everyone thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in baseball this year. And they were in the playoff hunt until the very end. That's got to say something about Scott Cervez. And I know I don't have Kevin Cash in this, but honestly, I'm tired of him getting the award. I'm tired of it. He's an excellent manager, there's no doubt, and he's deserving of the award every year, but I'm tired of him getting it. So Scott Cervez, I believe, should win the award, despite them not making the playoffs. What he's been able to do with such a young team has been incredible.
Well, Ryan, I hate to break it to you, but he's winning the award again because Kevin Cash is my Manager of the Year and is the winner of.
Who cares about who you pick?
Well, actually, it matters because me picking him gives him 10 points, which puts him in first. So Kevin Cash is your official American League Manager of the Year for running the bases. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Nick didn't put Scott Cervez in there. And you not putting Kevin Cash in there, they kind of even themselves out because Nick and I both put Kevin Cash at number 1. So our first place spot goes to Kevin Cash, your winner. Second place goes to Scott Cervez. He had 8 points. And then all the way down in third with 4 points is Alex Cora. So I like it. It's a good one. I like the look of that. It looks pretty. It's about what I expected. So we go down now to the National League. And the National League was seriously, it was tough. But there's a clear winner, I think, for all of us, but it's going to be the other spots that are going to be interesting to determine here. So we start off back with you, Nick. Who do you have in third place for the National League?
Yeah, I went to Milwaukee here. I went with a guy named Craig Counsell, and he's someone that I think is one of the more underrated managers in today's game. I think going into the season, no one even thought the Brewers were going to win this division. Everyone knew it was the Cardinals division from the get-go. And the Brewers were just consistently good, even after having a bad yellow season once again. This team still found ways to win after getting who do they get from the Rays?
Willie Adames.
After the Willie Adames trade, you can kind of see that team around just boost. They lost key guys too in their pen and their rotation, but it didn't really matter. Craig Counsell just managed an unbelievable season this year, and that's why I think he should be in consideration.
All right, Craig Counsell, number 3 for Nick. Ryan, what do you got?
Number 3 is Mike Schilt. That man is always able to get his teams into the playoffs. It is ridiculous. He is such a good manager. Yeah, did he have some great talent with Arenado and Goldschmidt? Yeah, I don't care. He also had 5 Gold Glovers, and he took a team to the playoffs when they were below 500, and they needed to get hot, and they did with, honestly, in my opinion, a subpar starting rotation. That just shows how good of a manager he is. How many games did they win in a row, guys?
17. You think it matters that he's fired, though?
I don't care that he's fired. He's a finalist. This is like the whole Dwayne Casey thing in the NBA a few years ago.
Well, except Dwayne Casey won it.
In a sense, it is. How about that?
Yeah.
But he's not going to win it. But I think Mike Schilt definitely deserves some credit.
I like it. At third place, I have Brian Snecker. Now, it pains me to put Brian Snecker at third. I would really love to put him at second. If we were including playoffs, he would probably be number 1 to me. But because we're not including the playoffs, I have him at third place because he took a Braves team that was down and brought them to the playoffs, but they should have been a lot better than they were, which is why he's only at third and not second. But either way, this Braves team, Brian Snecker, what a year for him. It pains me to only have him at third because of what he did in the playoffs, but he still deserves some sort of recognition for this. So that gives us 3 different people at third place. So these number 2 and number 1 spots, well, really this number 2 spot is going to determine a lot. So Nick, who do you have at second?
Yeah, I have your number 3 guy, Brian Snecker. And I don't know, to me, just that whole NL East was just a dumpster fire to begin with. And you can blame it on the plethora of injuries that we saw throughout the division. But to me, I think it says more to what Brian Snecker and that front office did. You know, replacing, we've said it multiple times, but the job they did replacing Ozuna and Acuna was instrumental to their playoff run. You know, they got like 4 outfielders that can make up the production of 2 guys. You know, and I am going to factor playoffs into this a little bit just because we saw those 4 guys really make a difference in the playoffs for them, and they were the reason why they were fighting every day. You know, Jock was huge in the Brewers series. Rosario was the best player in baseball in the Dodgers series. You know, Jorge Soler won World Series MVP. Adam Duvall was always getting clutch hits, clutch home runs at bats. You know, so I have to give Snecker second on this list just because of the way he managed that makeshift roster and was able to make a World Series run without a top 5 player in baseball.
Yeah.
I have one thing to say before I go.
Okay.
Hip, hip, Jorge! But I'm not picking Brian Snecker. I'm going with Craig Counsell. I think that his ability to take a Brewers team that really had a below-average offense and have such a dominant starting rotation and a great bullpen to get them to defeat a Cardinals team that on paper we all picked to win the NL Central. And they stormed out of nowhere and were dominant all season long. And arguably, they could have 2 Cy Young finalists on this list right now. They could, but they don't because MLB's a joke. And Woodruff fell off. But overall, I believe that Craig Counsell proves that he is still one of the best managers in the game each year, and this year is no anomaly. He was incredible this year. Craig Counsell's number 2 for me.
I like it. Now we're going to have quite the predicament here because I have Mike Schilt at number 2. And to me, Mike Schilt, similar to what happened with Brian Snecker, where Mike Schilt took a team that was down completely. And while, yes, they caught fire, managers have a lot to do with a team's success, especially over a short period of time. And a 17-game win streak and getting to the playoffs for a team that had no shot at the trade deadline, where we were like, what are they doing? Why are they getting these guys at the deadline? To me, speaks volumes. And I've got Mike Schilt getting that second place spot, which means we have a 3-way tie right now between Snecker, Schilt, and Counsell. And first place is not going to probably change any of that because we all have the same person there. So we're going to have to figure out how we determine that. But Nick, I'll let you break the ice as to who we all have at number 1.
Yeah, let's get it. Dave Roberts is our manager. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's Gabe Kapler. It's just that's had his name written on the award since probably July, and then we kept doubting him some more, and then he further got his name on the award just as much as we doubted him. I mean, what can you say? No, I had the Giants probably in 4th place in the NL West this year. Like, no one had them even licking like a grain of a playoff chance this year. And, you know, for the Chris Bryant acquisition, I think was big for that team, that ball club, because they really had no true, I wouldn't say superstar, but they had no star in that lineup that promoted a lot of damage like Bryant does. And just the job he's done with the rotation too. He's made Logan Webb into maybe a bona fide NL Cy Young candidate next year. Gausman was good for half the year, and then he kind of fell off towards the end. But just the job he did with that Giants team, man. I mean, they just had Darren Ruff as their leadoff hitter, like, and they were in the NLCS, or in the NLDS, excuse me. But they had most wins in the MLB this year. Like, it makes no sense to me. It's why baseball was great. Giants were a very good example of just winning baseball, and Kapler's manager of the year, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know, it is Gabe Kapler. I don't think there's any discussion to say it isn't. But I want to go back to a couple years ago whenever everyone was like, fire this man out of Philly. He's a horrible manager. And everyone in San Francisco was like, why hire him? Well,
that's true.
What he was able to do this year, taking Buster Posey, Brandon Belt, and Brandon Crawford, 3 of the older guys on that team, and turning them into perennial studs again. Like, what the heck? They came out of nowhere. Buster Posey had arguably his best season since he really won MVP. And then you got Brandon Belt, who was terrific. And then Brandon Crawford was in the MVP conversation. And don't forget about the pitching. He kept Kevin Gausman as a star for the first half of the season. And then Logan Webb came out of nowhere and proved that he is a bona fide ace for the future of that team. And I don't think there's anyone that you can say deserves this award more than Gabe Kapler, as he took a team that we all thought was going to get third, unless you're Nick, who said fourth in their division, and they had the most wins in baseball this year. It's Gabe Kapler, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I have no argument to that. So Gabe Kapler's our winner, without a doubt. Gabe Kapler is your National League Manager of the Year, as he will be in real life too, while this is real life, but in the MLB voting. So we need to determine who gets booted out from the three-way tie here, because Brian Snecker, Mike Schilt, and Craig Counsell are all tied with 4 points. So who do we want to kick off of that?
Kick out the guy that didn't make the playoffs.
They all made the playoffs.
They all made the playoffs, Nick.
I thought.
No, the Cardinals got knocked out in the wild card. Remember?
Okay, well, that's fair. Playoff series.
I could agree with that. Ryan, what do you think?
Why don't we just have a three-way tie? Why does it matter?
Well, okay, fine. A three-way tie for second place between Brian Snecker, Mike Schilt, and Craig Counsell. Congratulations. So now we move on to
I've been watching our show.
What is happening? I'm sorry, my AirPods disconnect for absolutely no reason. I can hear you now, thankfully. So Gabe Kapler and Kevin Cash, congratulations, your managers of the year in the National and American League. So now we go to the Rookie of the Year, and this is always a fun one, and to me, a very controversial one, because there's one player that Major League Baseball left out that I was completely appalled with, that we'll get to in a minute. But Nick, we start with you. American League Rookie of the Year in third place.
How can you not be appalled? They're horrible with their decision making.
That's fair. All right, Nick.
It's a joke.
Who do you have at third?
Legit a joke.
I couldn't find my mouse. Okay. To be fair, I want to point this out before I start with this guy. He would be a lot higher on this list if he was called up a lot sooner. I think he'll be so good one day. Wander Franco is so good. He's so unbelievably good. I can't put into words how good he is. And he was displayed in the Red Sox series. Just the postseason he had, the effect he had in that lineup. He was the best hitter on that Rays team in the playoffs. There's no discussion about that in my opinion. He's a great shortstop. He's learning. He had a few rookie mistakes in that playoffs. He's an unbelievable switch hitter. And so in my opinion, yeah, he would be a lot higher in the sense if he played more than how many games did he play in regular season? Probably around 60 or 50.
I don't know.
And then the rest of the playoffs.
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my opinion, he'd be a lot higher on this list if he played more. But Wander Franco is a top 25 player in baseball very soon.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I believe that this was one of the worst handled awards this year.
Oh, I agree.
I sincerely think that. I have Randy Rosarina at third. And let me tell you why. First off, it's crazy to even think that he's still eligible for this award. But he bursted onto the scene in the playoffs last year, and he was incredible. And you know what? He was still good this year. He hit 274. He had 20 home runs, 69 RBIs. He also led all rookies in hits and doubles. But also, the second half of the season, he was terrific. as he led all rookies with a 308 average and a 935 OPS. So Rosarina really is still a top-tier candidate. I just don't think he is the guy that should win it.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I've got Randy Rosarina at third. We all, before the season, predicted him to win the award, and he didn't. I don't think he did. He still had a great year. Like Ryan said, he named all the stats. He is going to be a great player wherever he plays down the line, because we all know that Tampa's not going to be able to afford him for long. But either way, I mean, the guy is a hitter. He can run. He can field. I mean, he's the ultimate package. So I've got him at third place. Nick, who do you have in second?
Yeah, I have your guys' guy that you just named, Randy. And I mean, yeah, it's like Ryan said, kind of crazy. Now he's still up for the award, considering the playoffs he had, and he's still a heck of a playoff performer this year too. He still did incredible things. I remember him stealing home too. That was crazy and everything. So
live on the air.
Yeah, live on there. That's crazy. No, but yeah, Randy's a winning ball player. Like you said, Michael, wherever he goes, he'll be a great player because it's hard to imagine Tampa Bay keeping him because they don't keep any of their young guys. They will keep Wander, though. That's a lock, but I don't know about Randy yet. But Randy had a great year, though. No disrespect at all, but we did think he'll have a little bit better of a year to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 for me, Ryan Mountcastle. The Orioles had actually a couple bright spots this year. They always have Trey Mancini and his story and just how he has been able to battle. Then also Cedric Mullins, but also Mountcastle. As Marco said, he does love them sliders. So, the average, it does not pop out. He only hit 255. He also led all AL rookies in home runs with 33. And he finished top 3 in hits, RBIs, and doubles on the American League side. Plus, he also became the first Orioles rookie to hit 30 home runs. I think that the way that he has been able to grow and showcase his power hitting, I think that's more valuable than a Rosarina, who honestly I expected more from this year.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now I have my second place spot's actually someone that they didn't even have in their top 3, and that's Emmanuel Klosse from the Indians. Now let me read off to you his stats because I don't think anyone realized how good he was this year. So and Nick, you're going to really love this. In 69 and 2/3 innings, he had a 1.29 ERA and saved 24 games for the Indians. I mean, he could arguably be in the Cy Young conversation, and they don't even have him in the Rookie of the Year conversation, which I just think is completely blasphemous. He is a dominant reliever, so I have him at second, to me, without a doubt, because my number 1 is pretty straightforward too. But yeah, I'm very disappointed with how they did this. I mean, they had Luis Garcia from the Astros in the top 3. And I really dislike that. Highly dislike that because I don't think he deserves it. So, Nick, who do you have at number 1 for your Rookie of the Year?
Oh, wow. I was going back and forth on this a lot. I think I actually am going to stick with Luis Garcia. Just because of what he did compared to every other American League rookie pitcher. He led rookies in innings, wins, and strikeouts. And honestly, bro, I have no idea what happens to that Astros rotation without him. I'm that serious. Without McCullers too in the playoffs, it would have been really bad. I understand Garcia wasn't the best in the playoffs, but compared to everything else that Dusty Baker had to throw out there, and Garcia and Baker trusted Garcia to pitch in big time games for them in that Red Sox series against the White Sox too. So I don't know. He's 24. He threw 155 in the 3rd innings, went 11-8 with a 3.4 ERA. The 3.4 ERA in the AL is probably tied for 5th overall, and he was a rookie.
Hard.
So to me, I don't know. I kind of see why the MLB put him in the top 3.
All right. Well, I understand your reasoning. It makes a little more sense to me. Ryan, go ahead.
Time for me to show how stupid the MLB is, because this should be the winner, Adolis Garcia. It is a crime that he is not in the top 3. Let me explain something to everyone. He did not just do it offensively. He did it defensively. So he finished second in rookies in the AL in homers. He had 31, which was a franchise record for the most by a rookie in Rangers history. He also led all AL rookies in RBIs, finishing top 3, like I said, in homers, doubles, and hits. But let's talk about the field. He finished tied for the most outfield assists in baseball with 16. He also led all rookies with 12 outs above average and had 11 defensive runs saved. He did it all on offense and defense. That is Rookie of the Year.
I looked at Adolis Garcia. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just saying he had a 286 on base percentage.
Yikes. I also did look at Adolis Garcia, and the main reason he didn't make it is because of that. But my number one is, to me, the clear winner, the guy who led all rookies in baseball this year in home runs, Ryan Mountcastle. He is a dominant hitter. I said it before the season. I put him at the 10th best first baseman in baseball. You all laughed at me. Marco even said that he made the White Castle joke, and you guys thought I was crazy. And here he is, having a dominant year. And I saw it last year. The kid can hit. And he's a yes, Ryan.
I don't think any of us thought you were crazy, because first base is just so weak once you get out of the top 3 or 4. So fair. I guess you're just trying to throw us under the bus here. Wow. What a host you are.
Throw back to the days when there used to be like 20 elite first basemen around the league, where we would have like Prince Fielder would be like the 7th best. Oh my gosh, those were the days. I miss that so much. So yeah, Ryan Mountcastle gets first place. And so let's tally up our points here. So we have another 3-way tie here for second place between Randy Rosarina with 5 points, Luis Garcia with 5 points, and Adolis Garcia with 5 points, which just goes to show you how big it is to win, get first place for us. But winning the award with 8 points is Ryan Mountcastle. So congratulations, MLB. The man who we picked to win the Rookie of the Year, you didn't even put in your top 3. Congratulations. Which to me is just blasphemous. So congratulations, Ryan Mountcastle, your American League Rookie of the Year, which puts us now in the National League territory. Now, Nick, I'm just curious, do you have to go like at 11 on the dot, or could you go like maybe 10, 15 later in case, if we're a little bit behind?
No, yeah, I could go a little bit later.
Okay, because I don't want to hold you back from your trip today. So
yeah, if I have to leave, I'll just let you know. But I don't think I'm
perfect. As long as you yell at me and say, "Hey, I need to go," so stop. I still want to try and get done within reasonable time here. So we go to the National League, and Nick, you are, as always, starting us off with your 3rd place spot for National League Rookie of the Year, which to me was a very interesting one. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see what we put.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the MLB's list, I don't think they messed up the NL. I think they messed up the AL. Like Mountcastle should have also probably been in the top 3, and that's the one I did forget. But I think Carlson at 3 in the NL is pretty respectable, and I think that's where I'm going to go. He posted a 117 OPS plus, 31 doubles, 4 triples, 18 home runs, and he was just like, he didn't play like a rookie this year. He was also a big part of the reason why the Cardinals went on a 17-game win streak. I remember at one point in the season, he was probably hit like 4 home runs in 4 straight games, and he was really turning up St. Louis, and it was fun to watch him a rookie. And he just looks like a mature, sound offensive and defensive player that I think can really stay in St. Louis for a majority of his career.
I like it.
I agree. I think that this list from the MLB on NL Rookie of the Year is fine. I think it's the right list. I go with Dylan Carlson at 3 as well. I think that, Nick, you said it perfectly. He doesn't play like a rookie. He didn't play like it. He plays very mature. He plays very well. And not only did he hit well this year, but he also, won a Gold Glove, because he's also terrific on the defensive side as well. So I believe that he is definitely worth a top 3 spot in the Rookie of the Year award.
He just missed it for me. It was very, very close, and I really liked what Dylan Carlson did, and I was looking for and hoping to get him in that top 3, but he just missed it on my list. At number 3, I have Trevor Rogers from the Marlins. The lefty was absolutely dominant this year. He was carving up hitters. He was another guy who didn't play like a rookie. He was out there pitching, and a guy who no one expected much from before the season started, and he just was dealing all year. I got to witness him pitch a lot, and he's a dominant pitcher. He's got a lot of pitches, and he works them really well. And he makes major league hitters look like they're facing a real professional pitcher, which I think was awesome. So that brings us to second place. Nick, who do you have?
Yeah, I got Rogers at 2 here, and to me, he easily could have won this award and to be first. But I think the guy above him had a little bit of a better rookie year. But Rogers was, like you said, Michael, absolutely dominant. There's a stat right here. Rogers' 2.64 ERA was third lowest by a rookie with at least 130 innings pitched since 2000, trailing only Walker Buehler and Jose Fernandez. Just shows you how good he was this year. He didn't allow more than 22 runs in 25 starts. Not a lot of rookies are doing that. Not a lot of pitchers in the league are doing that right now. And I think Rogers will be a guy that sticks around for a long time. I think he'll have a really good year next year too. And I'm second in the rookie of the year voting.
I agree with Nick. I have Trevor Rogers in second. I believe that he's another guy that dominated this year, and he's a huge reason why the future is so bright for that starting rotation for Miami. And you saw how he was able to, just like you said, Michael, carve up hitters. And it's ridiculous, that stat that Nick just brought up as well. It just shows how great he was his rookie year. And let's see how high he can go. He can go higher. I'm ready to see what he can do next. So let's see. I have him in 2, though. I believe there's one rookie that is easily winning this award.
At number 2 for me, it was Patrick Wisdom from the Cubs with his dominant season. He came out of nowhere. I mean, no one was expecting Patrick Wisdom to do what he did this year. I don't remember the exact number of homers that he hit, but I mean, I think he hit 30 home runs, and he was called up like 3 months into the season. A guy that if he was up all season would have probably won the home run crown. It was just dominant what he did. I think he broke records when he came up for most home runs hit by a rookie within like a week. I think he hit 8 home runs in his first 7 games in the majors. So I have to give him some serious props for that. That's why I have him at second place. But for number 1, Nick, take it away. Who do you have?
It's really no shocker. He's been rookie of the year since about midway through August, when he was just pelting leadoff home run after leadoff home run. It's Jonathan India out of Cincinnati. That had 269, 376, 459 splits, 34 doubles, 21 home runs, 12 steals in 150 games. He finished 5th among NL qualifiers in on-base percentage as a rookie. 5th in on-base percentage as a rookie. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, and I think the Indians have themselves a gem. India didn't look like a traditional rookie this year. You don't see a lot of rookies doing that well from the leadoff position especially. And just the way he handled it, the way he played on defense too, I think just proves that he, to me, is undoubtedly the NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about this one. This is like NL Manager of the Year. There's no doubt about it. There's no conversation really to be made where Jonathan India isn't the winner. Just how he was able to fill in that role in the leadoff spot and just take over. It was honestly remarkable to see a rookie do that. And then add in some great defense that he plays. So I believe that this is an easy one to pick, and he's going to win this award, and there's no doubt about it.
It wasn't as clear-cut to me as I think everyone else makes it out to be, because Patrick Wisdom was so good in the second in his first half. But Jonathan,
what?
Jonathan
India was close with it was Trevor Rogers.
Okay, but I really liked what Patrick Wisdom did this year. That's the only reason why. But yeah, Jonathan India really established himself as a professional major league hitter this year, and takes the crown for National League Rookie of the Year for us with a clean sweep. He is only the second clean sweep we have had so far, and he'll probably be, well, I don't know. He he might not be the last. He definitely won't be the last, but I'm trying to figure out how many there will be left. There probably will be maybe 3 more. So who knows? But that'll do it for the Rookies of the Year. We have Ryan Mountcastle and Jonathan India taking home the awards. So solid over there. We then roll over to Cy Young in the American League. And Nick, you get to start us off with third place.
Yeah, welcome back to the MLB messing things up because, in my opinion, this guy should definitely be a candidate. No way should he have won this award, but in my opinion, Lance McCullers deserves to be on this list at number 3. He went 13-5 with a 3.16 ERA, 162 innings pitched, 3.16 ERA, which is good for second in all of the American League. That's right. The pitching was that bad in the American League this year to where a 3.16 was second best, and it was Lance McCullers. And why he's not on this list, I have no idea. He was the heart and soul of that Astros rotation, in and out. Without him, they definitely don't win that division, in my opinion, because you definitely need an ace to win the division. McCullers was just that guy. I think the Astros have a lot better success with McCullers not getting hurt in the postseason too. And so, in my opinion, he's third on this list.
Okay, Ryan?
I completely agree. I think it should be Lance McCullers instead of Lance Lynn. I think that when you look at Lance McCullers, he had to step up this year. They didn't have Justin Verlander. They didn't really have Zach Greinke at the top of his game. And McCullers stepped up and was one of the best pitchers in the AL. I believe it is a crime that he is not in the running for this award in the top 3. And here's the thing. You saw the effects on the Astros rotation without him in the CS and the World Series. There was definitely an effect. And does he make an impact? Yes. Could that series have changed differently? Yes. Do I think the Braves still would have won? Yes. But at the same time, I believe it would have been a closer series. So I think that Lance McCullers did not get enough respect. And I believe that he should have been on this list.
Yeah, I agree that he was highly disrespected. But I think that the person that should be replacing Lance Lynn in the top 3 is actually Emmanuel Klosse, like I said before. In a year where the American League pitching was so bad, a reliever with a 1.23 ERA and 24 saves just simply deserves that recognition. I mean, he was so good, and that's why I have him at third. Because he just simply dominated. And there aren't many years where you see relievers hop into the top 3, but he was just simply so dominant that, yeah, I completely agree with you guys. Lance Lynn doesn't deserve that top 3, where maybe if you caught us right around the time of the Field of Dreams game, we probably would have said he would have won the award, but that American League Cy Young has just fluctuated so much this entire year. So he doesn't even crack the list for any of us, which is very interesting. So, Nick, who do you have at second place?
Yeah, it's Gerrit Cole for me. And say what you will about the wild card game, he for some reason just does not pitch well in Boston. But to me, this guy is still obviously a top 5 pitcher in baseball. He's probably like the 3rd best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. This year with a 3.23 ERA, which is still very good, 243 strikeouts, which is absurd, 1.06 WHIP, 181 innings pitched. Like, the guy's a machine, and you can say what you want about the sticky substance now. His ERA skyrocketed after he found out, but he was still pitching back down to earth after a couple rough starts. And to me, he still has the stuff to be the best pitcher in baseball. He hasn't lived up quite to his contract yet, in my opinion, but that's how good he is. The fact that when he doesn't live up to his contract, he's still finishing second in the AL Cy Young. So Gerrit Cole is second for me.
Yeah, I agree. I have Gerrit Cole at 2. And here's the thing. Yeah, and I think those couple bad starts they had after the whole crackdown on substances is kind of the difference in him winning this award. He came back down to earth. It was Gerrit Cole. He still had a 1.06 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, which is extremely, extremely good. And then you also have to look at his ability to strike out hitters. In 181 innings, he struck out 243 hitters. That's ridiculous. That is how good Gerrit Cole is. And I know he's not lived up to that contract, Nick. I agree. But I believe you're going to see the best of Gerrit Cole next year. So Gerrit Cole does not win it this year. This year, he was the favorite once again. And the whole crackdown on substances really didn't help him, which is sad to say. But I believe next year you're going to see Houston Gerrit Cole.
Yeah. Who knows? It's always an interesting story every year. So I agree. I have Garrett Cole at number 2. He was just so good this year, even in a year where, like you said, the substances held him back a lot and probably held him back from winning the award. But the man at number 1 that we all have here, he shocked the world. I don't think any of us expected him to have another good year in his career after what he did with the Diamondbacks, being traded because he just wasn't the same pitcher. So, Nick, I'll let you announce to the world who's going to win our Cy Young.
I just want to say before we start, man, pitched in Detroit in 2014, went 1-4. He had an 8 ERA.
I did not know that.
Yeah. No, we brought him up. This man, Robbie Ray, man, I have no words. I cannot believe he's going to win the Cy Young. I just cannot believe it. He went 13-7 this year, 2.84 ERA, 248 strikeouts, 1.04 WHIP, and 193 innings pitched. Like, that's just dominance at its finest right there. He's the only pitcher in the AL not to have a 3 ERA, to have a sub-3 ERA, I should say. I just have no words. He was by far the best AL pitcher, and it wasn't close. Yeah, that's the Cy Young.
Yeah, I think Robbie Ray is the Cy Young Award winner. I think when you look at it, this man, when he was traded from the Diamondbacks, led the league in walks. And now he is the only AL pitcher with a sub-3 ERA, came out of nowhere and dominated. With the struggles of Hyun-Jin Ryu, the Blue Jays needed that this year. And he came up big, and he's going to get paid for it because this is a Robbie Ray that we knew could come out and pitch. This was the one that we knew could develop. So he's number 2 in my book. But also I have to give a shout-out to Maxwell Gray Lane. In July, he put a bet on Robbie Ray to win Cy Young plus 7,000. He's going to win $700.
Wow.
Shout out to him.
That's elite. Yeah, Robbie Ray, no question. He's your American League Cy Young. I also forgot to mention the top 3 for the National League Rookie of the Year, which I had been doing, where Jonathan India came in first, Trevor Rogers came in second. Patrick Wisdom did get third because I had him in second place there. So then we go to the American League Cy Young top 3. Robbie Ray, easily number 1. Garrett Cole, clearly number 2. And Lance McCullers gets number 3. So there you have it. And then we have the National League Cy Young, which is it's a jumbled mess. That's to say the least. And I'm really intrigued to see what you guys have because there's a lot of debate about this one. Ryan, I feel like you have some opening thoughts before we get into it.
No, actually I pressed off the mute button, but trust me, when we get to AL MVP, I'll have a lot of freaking thoughts.
Okay. Nick, who do you have at third for the National League Cy Young Award?
I need to pull up these stats. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah. Arguably, this was a pretty tight Cy Young race in the NL. It was very fun to watch. The NL definitely displayed its dominance over the AL in terms of pitching this year, and it wasn't close. And the Cy Young really spoke towards that. Corbin Burns, in my opinion, could have easily won this award, and I would have not had a problem with it. But to me, he'll finish in third in this list.
Wow.
He did win the MLB ERA crown with a 2.43 mark. He led the majors in strikeout rate with a 35.6 over 9 innings, 12.6 strikeout to walk ratio, and he was just absurd throughout times. He was unhittable. He is some of the best stuff I've seen in a long time from the guy just that pitches like that. And to me, he easily could have been higher on this list, but the two pitchers I have ahead of him just had a little bit of a better season. But Burns is a stud.
Interesting. I think you might be. I don't know. Who knows what Ryan says? But I definitely didn't expect to see Corbin Burns all the way down to 3. But that just goes to show you how crazy this NL Cy Young is.
Can we ask why the heck Zach Wheeler is in this? He fell off. The one that should be in that third spot is Walker Buehler. It should be Walker Buehler. 2.47 ERA in 207 2/3 innings, 212 strikeouts, a whip of .968, ERA plus of 165. What else do you want from this guy? I'm sorry. He also only surrendered 19 homers compared to, I believe he gave up 24 in 2019. He also was an all-star this year, 16-4, even though the record doesn't matter. He had the most quality starts out of any pitcher in Major League Baseball. Walker Buehler should be on this list instead of Zach Wheeler, who fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, so we're actually, again, going to completely disagree on our third place spots for all three of them. And I actually have someone here that isn't even being discussed. And that's simply because he had a 1.23 ERA out of the bullpen this year. Give me Josh Hader for third. The man dominated. He had 34 saves. He was just completely unhittable this year. And without him, the Brewers probably don't even it's a closer division, to say the least. Josh Hader he was stellar, and he only blew one save this year. And I know where that one blown save came from because I was watching it live. It was a stellar year for him, and the only reason why Walker Buehler is not my number 3 is because he did fall off in September. If Buehler stayed put throughout September, not only would he probably have won the award, but I would have definitely had him in the top 3. But if I'm not putting Josh Hader here, then Walker Buehler is at third, but I do think Josh Hader definitely deserves that recognition, especially because of how good this National League pitching is. It just shows you how awesome he really was. So let's continue with this exciting NL Cy Young race. This is getting really thrilling. Nick, who do you have in second?
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument he definitely fell off, but I mean, Zach Wheeler so dominant this entire year, and he's worthy of the conversation for Cy Young. I mean, he led the NL in strikeouts, finished second in the league with never mind, that's a terrible stat. Led baseball in innings pitched, complete games, shutouts, batters faced. Led the NL in strikeouts. That Phillies rotation without him would have been absolutely. I don't even want to talk about it. Like outside of Wheeler, who do they have? I can't even think of their second best guy.
Aaron Nola.
No,
the Phillies.
Aaron Nola. Thank you. Yeah, and Nola was questionable at times this year too. Wheeler was by far to me the best pitcher the Phillies had to offer, and to me, he's worthy of second on this list. Stop.
What?
I thought you were going to disagree. I'm sorry.
Well, he probably is, but
you are.
No, I was going to say my number 2.
I know.
I wasn't going to disagree. He made a good argument. Do I agree with it? No, but he made a good argument, which is all you have to respect. My number 2 is Corbin Burns. He led the majors with a 2.43 ERA. He also led the majors in ERA plus, FIP, and home runs per 9 innings and strikeouts per 9 innings. In 167 innings, he struck out 234 hitters. Let that sink in, gentlemen. 234 hitters struck out facing him in 167 innings. We talked about how great Garrett Cole was with strikeouts. Corbin Burns was better. And then you have to look at his whip, .940. And he only gave up 7 homers. Michael, would you like to guess his strikeout to walk ratio? Go ahead, please. I'll give you the numbers.
It's probably like
234. He walked. Actually, I'm not going to do
25.
There's somebody who walked.
He probably walked like 25.
A little bit low, but I like the guess. He actually walked 34 hitters. So his strikeout to walk ratio was about 6.9.
Yeah.
Do you know how ridiculous that is? That he only walked 34 hitters?
Nice.
That man has a case to win it, but the man that I have at 1, that's just how good he is. So,
well, yes.
Corbin Burns, heck of a season. After finishing 6th last year, he's going to finish 2nd.
So now a lot rides on who I have at second place here. Wow. To determine who finishes in second, because I can either go with Nick, Zach Wheeler. I can go with Ryan's Corbin Burns, or I can just completely change the game here. But I'm going with the man who broke the record for most consecutive strikeouts to start the year without issuing a walk, and that is Corbin Burns. An absolute stellar year for Corbin Burns. And I mean, I was very, very impressed with what he did this year. If it weren't for the man who finished in first, well, I don't want to give it away too much, but if it weren't for the man who finished in first, having his season change drastically around the midway point in the season, then he probably wouldn't have won this award. But yeah, Corbin Burns he's incredible, and he deserves a lot of recognition for what he did this year. Just a stellar season. But Nick, let's go. Let's hear who's number one.
This will be the fourth time in his career he's won one. Does not shock me one bit. Again, he started out with the Tigers. I'm really gonna that is just gonna hurt me. Max Scherzer's once again the Cy Young. No surprise there. Went 15-4 this year with a 2.46 ERA, with an MLB best .864 WHIP. Not 1.864, .864. Scherzer was the best pitcher in baseball all year long. With two teams, it was not close. He was dominant with the Nationals and took it a step further with the Dodgers after that blockbuster trade. He was I have no words for him. He's just the best pitcher in baseball right now, and it's not close. He's Cy Young.
Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's Max Scherzer.
Right now.
Okay,
Fine. God,
Max Scherzer is the best pitcher in baseball.
That's terrible.
The best pitcher in baseball, because there's one thing that he can do: stay healthy.
Longevity. Yeah.
Longevity, health. That's why I have him above Jacob deGrom right now.
Oh, well, yeah, you're wrong. That's okay.
Oh, I'm wrong. How am I wrong? How am I wrong? Who's winning the Cy Young? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because Jacob deGrom can't stay healthy. That's right. That's right.
He would have won the MVP if he was healthy.
Because Scherzer has longevity, and health. Two things that deGrom has not proven to have whatsoever. Sorry.
He had it every year except for this one, to be fair.
At this current rate, right now after this season, Max Scherzer is the best pitcher in baseball.
That's terrible. But that's
how?
okay.
How? This is also the man that said Max Scherzer was not a top 5 pitcher going into the season.
I don't even think I had him at the top 10, which is my bad. That was
top
terrible.
10 because you're a joke.
That was a joke. I will take full credit for being an idiot on that one.
Let me phrase it this way: Jacob deGrom is still the best pitcher in baseball, but to this point, after this season, it's got to be Max Scherzer. And I think that you could agree with me on that, unless you're that thick-headed with how your Mets bias hits.
This year, the best pitcher in baseball is Max Scherzer. Yes, there's no question.
All right,
but entering 2022, he's not.
Nick, let me get into it. You said the incredible stats I had. We just talked about a great strikeout to walk ratio. His was nearly as good as Corbin Burns at 6.6. He also led the league in walks per 9, hits per 9, and then the thing that you look at is the whip. The eye-popping whip of .864. Who does that? Who is that good? And I think
he's allowing less than one base runner per inning. That's how good he is. That's just I don't understand. Less than one base runner per inning.
It's ridiculous. But I also have to look at what he did with the Dodgers. 7-0, 1.98 ERA, 89 strikeouts in 68 1/3 innings. His whip with the Dodgers alone was .82. And here's the craziest part. His strikeout to walk ratio with just the Dodgers, 11.13. This man, there's no doubt. He is winning Cy Young. There's no doubt in my book.
Yeah. I agree. And yes, Max Scherzer is winning it for me. But I would be remiss to not mention the man who would have won it in the end, because I just need to mention him. It's just not fair that Jacob deGrom doesn't get talked about, because let me just read to you the stats. in 15 starts, which was 3 more than he had in 2020, which is a full season for him, and more starts than any pitcher had in 2020. He had a 1.08 ERA, 1.08 with 146 strikeouts, which was 40 more than he had to lead the league, I'm sorry, in 2020. He had a .554 whip. .554. That blows my mind. He had a 3.9 hits per 9. To give you some sort of idea of how good that is, 6.3 was the highest he had in a full season before this year. He had a 13.27 strikeouts per walk. 13.27. We were saying how 6.9 is great. He had 13.7. So I just wanted to mention Jacob deGrom because he needed to be talked about for how great he was until he got hurt. But yes, Max Scherzer wins. So Max Scherzer gets first, Corbin Burns gets second, and Zach Wheeler gets third because Nick put him at second place. So congratulations, Nick. Zach Wheeler does earn third place for you, which is why he ended up getting third place in the major leagues. So we go on to the American League MVP. Nick, I will let you take it away at third.
No. I have some words before he starts. Just two quick words.
Okay, I was going to say we should be quick because Ryan's going to rant for half an hour.
A joke.
Oh, he's done. Okay, go ahead, Nick. You're third place.
Yeah, no. Ryan said it. It's a joke. The fact that I have to go to Baseball Reference to pull up his stats right now is kind of a joke too, because they should be there with all the rest of the candidates. Salvador Perez, I have no idea why he's not a candidate after the year he just put up. 273 batting average, 48 home runs, 121 RBIs, 316 on base percentage, 544 slugging, 126 OPS plus. I don't want to hear it, yo. Marcus Semien had an outstanding year. He was on my fantasy team too this year. Like, I know how good of a year he had. That Blue Jays team was off a beam this year, but without Salvador Perez, this Royals team is just, I don't even know where their production comes from at that point. Like, I think Ryan can allude to that. Like, I don't see where they get any of the run scoring. Salvador Perez was the heart and soul of that team, and for him not to be in a finalist is a real shame. He will get votes. You will get a lot of like third place, like fourth place votes, but for him not to be a finalist over Semien to me is a crime. And I'm sorry, Ryan. If this was a Tiger, I would feel the exact same way because this is some stuff that the MLB would pull on us. I feel for you. I really do feel for you.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right. Let me ask you guys a question. A man that has 2/3 of the Triple Crown, how is he not an MVP finalist? Please enlighten me. Oh, wait. You can't give me a reason? Because I'm sorry. A cuss word is going to come out at least once, Michael. I'm sorry. But this is absolute horse. This is horrible. I don't care. Marcus Semien, you know what? Had a great year. He set the record for the most home runs hit by a second baseman. Congrats. You know what Perez did? He set the most home runs hit by a catcher in a single season. Also led the league in RBIs. So where does Semien beat him? Oh, you would maybe think batting average? No. Semien hit 265. Perez hit 273. Where is it? Where is it that Semien in any universe is above Salvador Perez? Oh, wait, there isn't one unless you're a biased A's fan or Blue Jays fan. That is how ridiculous this is. There's no way in hell that Salvador Perez is not an MVP finalist. Arguably, there is a case, a logical case, that you can say Salvi might be right near Vlad. Right near him. Because not only did he tie for the most home runs, also, had the most RBIs. He has 2 of the criteria for the Triple Crown, more than Vladdy. So, I am sorry, but this is a joke. The MLB just proves why they are a freaking joke with their awards. And, Salvi didn't play that many games. Salvi missed 1 game. He played 161 games. I don't want to hear it. There's no way that Marcus Semien had a better season than Salvador Perez. There's no universe where that is true. Absolutely no universe. Salvador Perez should have been MVP finalist, and it is a joke, and it is horrible how stupid the MLB is.
Beautiful.
I actually kept it together with my language. I'm proud of myself.
I'm impressed, even though we're not on the air.
Here comes Parker. Here he comes.
I'm sorry. If Parker tries to argue that Marcus Semion's third, he's just not allowed.
He's not walking in because he knows I'm right.
Yeah, well, because Marcus Semien doesn't deserve third. That's just ridiculous.
Marcus Semien does not deserve third. It's Perez. I don't know how stupid some people are. I thought Rawlings was stupid with Nicky Lopez. No, this takes the cake. This takes the cake.
Well, ironically, the thing that determines the finalists is they do the voting, and then whoever finishes in the top three, they just announce as the finalists.
So who votes the top three?
Right, it's the writers, it's the baseball writers that you should be yelling at, not necessarily.
Yeah, the baseball writers are stupid.
Yeah, but either way, yes.
I'm very sorry.
Votes all the time.
It's ridiculous. He will still get votes though.
Yeah, he'll probably finish fourth.
Oh, and he should. He should not finish fourth. That's a joke.
He should not.
Of course.
An absolute joke.
We know. Yeah, he's third for me too. Yeah, I think we all are. That's ridiculous. I mean, Ryan even texted us. He texted us like a week ago.
On Twitter, make it go viral. I don't care because that's how stupid the MLB is. He should have been third.
Yeah, Ryan texted us like a week ago saying if Salvador Perez, when they said that Nicky Lopez isn't in the finalists for the Gold Glove, he said if Salvi isn't in the top, isn't a finalist for the MVP, I'm gonna lose my mind. And well, here we are.
You had a feeling.
Yeah, he did. It's ridiculous, but
hey, there might be a couple cracks on my wall. That's how pissed I was.
Wow,
it is an absolute joke.
Yes, it is. All right. Let's roll into number two. I think we can all agree who's number two and number one for us. So do we even really need to spend any more time on it? I mean, it's clear that Vladdy's number two and Shohei's number one, which is the first time we've ever completely agreed on
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think Vladdy should be one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, never mind. Nick is changing up the game here. Wow. Okay, hold on. I have to write that in then because I know Ryan and I completely agree. Look at Ryan. Wow, Ryan. I think for the first time ever, Ryan's more mad at you, Nick, than he is at me today.
Why is he mad at me? He's just mad at Salvi.
I'm not mad at Salvi. I'm mad about Salvi.
Well, no, about that's what I'm saying. The situation.
Man, I am so tired of this crap where the Royals that deserve the awards most do not get recognition. It's ridiculous.
Hey, you got 2 Gold Glovers. I didn't think you were guys going to get
I'm sorry. Okay, Michael A should have won it. Benintendi had a case. Nicky Lopez was the best fielder in baseball this year, arguably. And Salvador Perez, how? I don't get it. How dense are some people?
All right, Ryan, I love you. I love you, but I do want to move on a little here. So, Nick, because you have Vladdy at first, I want you to give your reasoning for that because it's an interesting take that not tons of people agree with. So, I want to hear your choice for that.
I mean, I definitely see the reason why Ohtani probably will win the MVP award, and rightfully so. He had probably a season like we haven't seen any other, but in my opinion, I don't know. You make the case that Semien also is an MVP candidate, but we also just talked about for like 10 minutes how he shouldn't be. If you take Vladdy out of that lineup, man, you can say, and you can make the same case for a lot of the same MVPs on this list, but I think the same goes for Vladdy and his. I don't know what the Blue Jays do without his production. He was by far. I need to pull up these stats because these stats are like MLB to show numbers. At one point, they were like actually looking like he was playing on rookie, but then he turned it up to like all-star. He finished the season hitting 311, 48 home runs, 111 RBIs, a 401 on base percentage, 601 slugging. Did no one know that he had a 600 slugging percentage? I had honestly no idea until right now. A 1.002 OPS, like. And I get Shohei. Shohei had similar batting numbers. The batting average wasn't there, but then he made it up for in the pitching. then at times he wasn't as good as a pitcher. But I don't know. In terms of valuable, in terms of production, I think the Blue Jays are I wouldn't say a lot worse without Vladdy in terms of the Angels without Shohei, but it's close in my opinion because that's just how good Vladdy was at the plate this year. And you could argue that Vladdy being so good is the reason why Semien was so good too and why he was another MVP candidate. And he made a lot of that other Blue Jays team a lot better. And they were just a lot better team with Vladdy in that lineup. I don't know. It's close though. Like I said before, I can see why Shohei is going to win the MVP award. It seems that's the way it's going to go. That's the way the media is portrayed. That's just the way that baseball works sometimes. But if I were voting for the AL MVP, I would vote for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
This is not a conversation of who's 2 and who's 1. It's a conversation of who wins it between the two is what this turns into. And let me explain why Shohei's going to get it. It's because when you think of most valuable, it's because he does it all. And he's good at doing both. Shohei in 130 and I believe a third innings on the mound had a 3.18 ERA, 156 strikeouts, and had a very respectable and good whip at 1.09. Shohei was great on the mound, and then look at how dominant he was at the plate. He was intentionally walked 20 times for a reason. Yeah, you know what? The average might not be there at 257, but the on base is there at 372. Slugging is there at 592, and then OPS is at 965. Those are right there. He also had 46 homers and 100 RBIs, but then he also led the league in triples. So I just think it is close, but looking at who is more valuable and who does it all, it's Shohei. And that's nothing against Vlad. It's just what Shohei can do. Plus, we all know why I want Shohei. But that's besides the point.
Well, yeah. Shout out to you in that killer futures that you made. But no, my only thing is that Shohei had an outstanding year, but we all can agree that there's maybe room for improvement in both the hitting and the pitching. And so my thing is, if he's not having his best year now and he's still winning MVP, there might as well just not be a conversation for the next 10 years then about who's going to win MVP. Because if he's putting up a 3 ERA with similar hitting numbers, then it's just not going to be a question year in and year out. Because Vladdy, in my opinion, did everything he could to put himself in that same conversation, and people are still disregarding it.
Well, I believe this is the bar for Shohei. If he doesn't get any better, I don't think he should win it again.
He's going to get better.
He's worse. Okay, then if he gets better, then he should win it.
I disagree completely.
Okay, yes.
With Ryan.
Disagree completely with what?
With Ryan. I agree with you, Nick. While, yes, I have Shohei winning it, I think this is Shohei's one and done, that unless he puts up Cy Young numbers or Hank Aaron numbers, because that's kind of what we have to compare it to now, unless he does both of those things, he doesn't deserve the MVP. Or, not both. As long if he puts up one of those things,
that he set the bar and he has to do even better to win the award again. So where do you disagree with me?
Because he's going to do better. I think the problem is that unless he is like far and away the best hitter or best pitcher in the league, then there's no way you can give it to him. I think that he has to be absolutely dominant. And like I said, and I've written an article about it, I've talked about it on the show, giving it to Shohei for the year he had, even though Vladdy still didn't win the Triple Crown, it sets up such a dangerous precedent for the rest of Shohei's career that if he just puts up the same numbers, like you said, Nick, that he's going to win it. And it's just, and we're doing it just for the fact that what? Because he can hit and pitch. I mean, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, I guarantee we're going to have plenty of these guys. And what are we going to do? It's going to be
completely disagree with that point.
Why? Look at how many people there are coming up.
Do you understand how hard it is to do that? So many guys try to do it and they can't.
But they know they don't, because they know that it's so hard to do. So look, they know that it's so hard to do, and they were discouraged from hitting and pitching at the same time. So they didn't. But now that people are seeing, well, I can do this, they're going to put effort into doing both, instead of, going to college and saying, well, whatever. So Shohei does win the award for us. He gets 13 points. Vladdy comes in second with 11, and then Salvi gets third. So
do you know who's not on this list? Semien. He shouldn't be on the finalist list at all. So
Ryan's yelling at me to move on, and then he jumps in with that.
Let's go.
I'm trying. I was, wrapping it up. So Shohei Ohtani, your American League MVP. So that brings us to the National League MVP and our final award here. Nick, who do you have for third place?
I've argued the pace of baseball and ironically the pace of the video game, the show. Tatis is third. He had a heck of a start. I think we can all agree that that whole Padres team, when he started going down, it all went down with him. And so he had a heck of a first half, though, to the point where I had to put him in the top 3. But I don't think it's worthy of a top 2 finish, just because the errors in particular too is something that really will hurt him, and if it'll continue to hurt him if this continues. But Tatis was electric when he plays. Those Dodgers and Padres series were really fun to watch at the beginning of the year. But I do think next year too, with new manager and Bob Melvin, he'll be rejuvenated, ready to play some more MVP type baseball. But this year, I think he's worthy of a top 3 finish.
He's worthy of a top 3 finish. That's it. I don't think he's done enough. I think that he still has some injury problems, even though it wasn't anywhere close to what it was last year. I still think that for him, he fell off with that Padres offense, and I think that he's not at that point where we can say he's a top 2 finisher in the MVP. Next year, it could be his award. Honestly, it could be. But this year, it's not. It's a top 3 finish, which 100% respectable. He had a great year, but he's not there yet to where we can say he's an MVP.
Well, there's always the shockers every year for the award. Fernando Tatis Jr. is not a shock that he did so well this year. I also have him at third. Just a great year, led the NL in home runs. And I mean, if we did the show in June, he would have won the award far and away. Just a stellar year for him. And it's just too bad that he fell off and got hurt, because that certainly curbed his chances of winning this award. So, Nick, who do you have at second?
This is really tough. I think both these top 2 guys are both worthy of the award, honestly. But I think I'll give second place to Harper. This was really tough. Harper led the entire league in OPS. Harper was the catalyst for this whole entire Phillies team. I don't know what this lineup looks like without Harper in it. That's just how good he was. Led the league. He also led the league in slugging at 615 while hitting 309. He was incredible this year, absolutely incredible. But I think the guy above him just had a little bit of a better season.
Wow.
This is so tough. It's so tough. Because when you look at it, look at Juan Soto. I believe he is third all-time, second or third all-time in on-base percentage out their age 23 season. That's how good Juan Soto's been. But then look at Harper. It's such a hard precedent because, Harper hit 309, leads the league in slugging percentage on base, OPS and OPS plus, and he had the most doubles. But then you have to look at Juan Soto. Led the league in walks, on base percentage, had a higher average, got intentionally walked the most out of anyone. And so still had 999 OPS, a 175 OPS plus, and a 534 slugging, along with 29 homers and 95 RBIs. It's so tough, but I got to give it Harper second.
Wow.
It's such a tough award. And I know we knew that you were picking Harper just because of the shirt you're wearing, but it's just such a hard award. This might be the toughest one to call. I think
this is my Harper shirt, to be fair.
And I just think that Soto has been so good. He's been the lone bright spot on that Nationals team.
I actually was going to wear my Harper shirt today, but because it's Veterans Day, I had to wear my Veterans Day shirt, and it just happens to be a Phillies shirt. So there was no intention to do that. But wow, I'm actually really surprised. I thought that you guys were going to go Harper for winning it. And I'm really, really intrigued by that. And if this is what we see at the major league level, I mean, it's going to be fascinating because I think I have Juan Soto in second, predominantly because Bryce Harper just has a couple more stats to me that he needs and that I feel are more important, like OPS. But yeah, I mean, the intentional walks really does tell a big story.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you rather someone just hit the ball hard and hit the ball hard and hit a bunch of homers, or would you rather value
I mean, it can come down to me. It could come down to who would I rather face. And as a Mets fan, I saw the Mets face them both a ton this year. And yes, I was more scared when Juan Soto bat than Bryce Harper. But I'm just going with Bryce Harper simply because of how dominant he was at this late of a stage in his career. I say that as if he's like 45. But still, just a dominant year. And Juan Soto's going to get that chance again. It's not like with Guerrero where it's a shock and show, hey, you know, I have to give it to Bryce Harper. And it's by this much. And it's going to be so close to see what they do. This is going to be the most exciting award by far to me.
They probably will give it to Harper. That's just the way it's kind of been playing out all year this year. But I just think with what Soto did, especially in second half, because I'll be real, he wasn't playing to his potential in the first half. To say he struggled, I think is a bit of an overstatement, just because
struggled compared to his second half.
He struggled in terms of, I think, power. Yeah. He didn't have a lot of. He had like 8 or 9 home runs, I think, in the break, and then he just absolutely was turning it on in the second half of the season. And yeah, he was the best hitter in baseball all season long, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. A lot scarier. So there you have it. Juan Soto, he wins our MVP in the National League. He takes it home. That's crazy. I predicted him to win the MVP, so if he wins, I won't complain because that'll be a 3 point for me.
I did.
I don't remember. I think you did too. But yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait for that. Next week, 1 week from today, we have our official favorite show of every offseason, the Free Agent Predictions Show. I've already made like 40 predictions. I love it. I'm so excited. We don't know how we're going to be setting up who's here, but we know for a fact Tim Ryder is going to be joining us live for the show.
The King is here. The King is right here. The King.
Yes, you are the 2-time King. So,
and you know what? I need a prince or I need a queen this year. So, or I might just.
Who's waving behind you, Nick? There's someone behind you waving. There was someone behind you waving. I think it was Kayla.
Or someone I might just go around and win it again. We'll see.
Either way, who knows?
I could add to my royalty, or I could just win it again. We'll see.
You've got a lot of competition this year, I will say. We now have 6 people making predictions.
You needed to bring in more competition, otherwise I was going to win it every year. You needed to bring in more.
Fair. That's fair, I guess. Tim can't win the overall things. He's only doing the top 25. But Tim Ryder will be joining us live. Blake Harris may be joining us. He doesn't know. Danny cannot. He's out of town next week. But Blake is going to try. We'll see. Danny definitely will be coming onto a show soon. And Blake will definitely as well if he doesn't come on next Thursday. And we may or may not be having Kayla Egan and Spencer joining us live. We don't know yet. We're going to figure out how we do that because we can only have 6 people live on the stream. So we're going to have to figure out how that goes.
So Kayla, Egan, Spencer.
We'll figure it out after the show. Yes. So that makes 7. And if Blake joins, it's 8. So we don't have enough room for that. But
okay. So I have an idea.
We'll talk about it after the show. We'll talk about it after the show because Nick has to leave. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. We do have our free agent prediction show next week. Be there, 7 o'clock Arizona time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy.